I will give you two general comments first. The first one is rehearsal. Okay. I enjoy listening to your speeches very much. Rehearsal is important because you can figure out and measure out your time, right? For example, I enjoy listening to Leo's ISIS. It seems to me he still have probably like 2 paragraphs, right? 2 more paragraphs to go. But if you can probably make a good rehearsal at home, okay, if you come here, figure out the time, then you know the IS not as is, right? Because we know time. Okay. Another thing will be when you rehearse at home, try to face the mirror. Okay, sometimes that is helpful. Okay, you face the mirror, you see yourself, and you see your gesture, your body, I would say posture, and your general presentation. All right, face the mirror. Okay, when you rehearse your speech at home. And the third thing during rehearsal, try to find someone to listen to you first. All right, you can ask your classmate, your roommate, to listen to your speech, and then probably it is still possible. Okay, record your speech. Okay, and then listen to your own speech. Okay, after your rehearsal. As I suggested, the first broad suggestion is rehearsal, and the second broad comments, or I would say suggestions, is pentat again. Okay, when some of the evaluators here said that some of the grammatical errors. The pentat again, I would like to repeat that one more time. The first one is lexicology, that means the use of the words, okay, the dictions, the choice of the words. For example, I enjoy Haoyang's Lulala. He said when I was a senior high school, I'm an asshole. Okay. If I didn't remember wrong, that word is very tough on you. Okay. That word is not that decent, but he said I was an asshole. Okay. I mean, you can say I'm not quite mature. Okay. I'm still very, very naive. That would be a better word. Okay. So that's of course, he's not an asshole. Okay. Lexicology means the choice of the words. Okay, the dictions. The second one again is the we call that phonology. Is the sound of your speech. Pronunciation. For example, again, when Haoyang said about 救国团, okay, 救国团 is China Youth Corps, alright? PS is silent. You know why? Because I joined 救国团 when I was at college time. Chen Jingwei was my best friends when we joined the China Corps. You can see how old we were and we are now. Okay. China Youth Corps. Okay. If you pronounce China Youth Corps, then that will become this word. China Youth Corps. Corps is a French word. French word, the consonants at the end are silent. So China Youth Corps is not China Youth Corps. If you pronounce China Youth Corps, what does it mean by corps? C-O-R-P-S-E. The whole class, I mean, you can tell us. Yeah, Doris, corpse means what? Yeah, a dead body, 尸体。中国青年反共救国尸体团。Alright, they're all dead. Okay. Well, it's just a small correction, okay? But Haoyang is very energetic, I like that. He's still alive, okay? He's not a dead body. He's not. Corpse means 尸体. Corps means 社团 or 团体 or just like a club. I made the same mistake, okay? When I joined, I belong to China Youth Corps. Okay? I didn't join Lulala, but I joined, we call that International Affairs, let's see, 国际事务研习营, okay? It's International Affairs, something like International Affairs Committee or something like International Affairs 国际研习辅导员. Okay, in other words, at the China Youth Corps, there's kind of club especially training you to be an international youth, right? You're not supposed to register by yourself. You are chosen, you are selected by the China Youth Corps. To my best knowledge, if I'm not wrong, 朱立伦 or Tsai Ing-wen or some of the leading, I would say, statesmen, I don't want to use the word politicians, okay? Statesmen, 政治家, they all joined the China Youth Corps before, okay? So, international affairs, I would say activity, okay? Well, anyway, I just say the second, again, the element in Pantad is phonology, because pronunciation matters when it changes the meaning, all right? So don't be afraid of making mistakes. We certainly correct our mistakes. China Youth Corps rather than China Youth Corps, okay? All right, the third is the syntax. Some of you evaluate your classmates' grammar or grammatical errors. We call that syntax, right? The third element, syntax, is the study of the structure, the study of the grammar. So if it is possible, could you ask your classmate or even a native speaker of English to polish your speech? Okay? I think for the second day impromptu speech, I will encourage you, some of you who haven't made the speech today, try to maybe polish your speech one more time. And for those who have already done your speech today, you can polish your speech scripts again in terms of the grammatically correctness, all right? And the fourth one, we call that semantics, the study of the meanings. And the meanings include the cultural implications. For example, Venus' last speech about the taboos touching the head of somebody's, touching the head of someone else's head. I'm just wondering if you touch the head of the monks, okay, will that be even more serious, okay? I don't have hair now, you cannot touch my head. Then Vina has made a very clear picture, right? Because the thought comes from the head, okay? So the meaning is not touching the head anymore. The meaning would be, or possibly be, the touching of the head is preventing myself from having wisdom, okay? Intelligence or wisdom. Okay? Touching the head is a matter of respect, or it's a matter of taboo, but it's also a matter of intelligence definition, or being smart, being wise. So that's what we call that denotation and the connotation in terms of the semantics. Okay? When Ma and Xi met in Singapore, the reporters said they are using a kind of semantics which make these two sides across the Taiwan Strait closer. Okay? Semantics is more for Mr. Xi, is more emotional. Okay? I'm still trying to find out the best translation for all students too, and for you to try to, how would you say 两岸同胞是打断的骨头，筋连着，可连着筋。I don't know how to translate that. If you translate, I need a medical doctor. Okay? You break the bone, your sinew is still connected. You need a surgery right away. Okay? Okay, that's semantics. For a successful and effective speech, I would suggest that your semantics, your implied meaning is sometimes even more critical and more memorable than your literal meaning. In other words, connotations are more critical than denotations. You use rhetorical figures. 修辞的资格 probably you would say for example, dolphin is our much more intelligent friend for human beings. If you go to Disneyland, you can see how dolphin played, right, successfully with a very interesting gestures. They understand what the guide, what the coach, okay, what the team leader will follow. Okay. All right. So the last one is pragmatics. Again, PENTAD. Pragmatics means the use of the language. Where is the class, right? The setting is in this class. Therefore, try to adjust to the audience or adapt to the audience in terms of the pragmatics. Where are you going to set up your speech? In what kind of setting? We call that listeners or audience relevance, right? So the last one, 语用学, the study of the use of language, we call that pragmatics. Okay? For example, specifically speaking, let's see, who said how to chase a girl? How to get a girlfriend? Or even, right? Okay, I would say, I wish I could know your suggestion 30 years ago for me, how to chase a girl. However, I would like to say, in this class, we have more boys or more girls? The whole class? It's an easy answer, right? We have more girls. So I would suggest that according to pragmatics, 语用学, I would say, could you possibly change the topic into how to get a boyfriend? Okay, it's more relevant, okay? But anyway, I think I like your speech too. Or you can change to the topic of pragmatics, how to be chased by a guy, okay? How to attract the boys, the stupid boys. How could you possibly give a chance to the boy you like who's very shy? It's not like the TV series 电视剧, right? Sometimes I said, watch the TV when I was tired of watching TV a little bit. 为什么我不能做你的男朋友？为什么你就是不喜欢我？ I think it's stupid. Could you make some kind of hits, right? I feel alone when I study alone. Okay? I just want to say, if you use pragmatics, change the topic into how to chase boys. Oh, Peter, we are shy too. We don't look like what you look like. You look at us. How to be shy and how to be attractive. It could be compatible. Okay. Give a chance to the boy you like. Okay. But anyway, I just say pragmatics as an example. Try to stick to the topic and the audience members. Okay? This is, I would say, pragmatic. So my two general comments will be, first is the rehearsal, and the second is the PENTAD. Okay, but next time, for example, I don't know which speaker you end with, see you next time, just like a TV program hoster, okay, or hosted. 我们下次见. Okay. If you see you next time, then try to adjust yourself, your topic to the audience. Okay? Really make the audience understand. Okay? Alright, that's in general two major comments, one from rehearsal, the other from PENTAD, I would like to share with you. Alright, and specifically, for Ayago's speech in a foreign country, study abroad, I think is good. Then my only suggestion will be, if you want to talk about your persuasive speech, okay, next time, could you extend your speech to why we should go study abroad, okay? I mean, for all of you here, I just use Ayago's example. For your second major speech, persuasive speech, try to tell us why, rather than how and what, okay? It's just a suggestion for you. If you want to extend your, you want to check another topic, that'll be fine. We will talk about the persuasive speeches after the speech contest. Okay, about persuasive speeches, chapter 12 and 13. All right, and then for Sharon's dream interpretation, I think it's very informative. I like it. Okay, especially when I know why I was flying in my dream. I was quite old. How can I still fly? Then I know the background before flying, and angels, devils, clocks, very informative. My only suggestion will be why people dream. Could we control our dream? When you fall asleep, can you dream what you want to dream, or what you don't want to dream but you dream? Okay? 日有所思，夜有所梦. That's Chinese proverb. Okay? So I like Sarah's dream interpretation, but more than interpretation, maybe get some more information about if we could possibly control our dream. 2 days ago, my dream was, living in a very beautiful house with a waterfall beside the house. Very clean room, totally in whiteness. When I woke up, I told myself, will I be in heaven? If I will be in heaven, that means I pass away. Okay. It's a very